Harstem versus Serral. We need a 2-0. If it does go 2-0, we'll go to an ace match. That sucks, but it's okay. Equilibrium map 1. Harstem has pretty good PvZ. Obviously, Serral is Serral, and we always think Serral wins, but cannot underestimate the captain. He lives for moments like this. I know he's been looking forward to this. Okay, I think we're gonna have to rehost the game. Every now and then there are mods where you suddenly get a different interface. So instead of your regular interface, you get the Warcraft 3 interface or a Galactic Space interface. Some of them are nice, by the way. Some of those overlays are pretty. Harstem pretty scary right now. Yeah, no, I think the captain is good. I'm obviously hoping and wishing for a 2-0 here for Yona, but no guarantees. ZVP definitely got a little bit harder for the Zergs in this patch than it was in the previous one, especially the Baneling nerf. Definitely hurt the matchup a little. I still think it's obviously very doable. I would never say it was like, oh, I think Protoss is favored over Zerg right now, but Protoss has much more of a shot than they used to have. Yes, how to play. Take care of that, mate. We took care of that. Yeah, B-Ball City. There's actually a really good clip from that story where Harstem was casting at Home Story Cup together with Todd and someone else. And then Harstem shared a story where he said like, oh yeah, Serral is so high ranked on the ladder that whenever he beats me, he gets like 2 or 3 points. That's when you know you're a pleb. And everyone starts laughing. And then Todd was like, but how many points do you get if you win? And Harstem said, I don't know. And that was the funniest part of the clip. That was really good. Serral versus Harstem on the ladder. I can show you guys that clip quickly while we wait for these nerds to get it going. It's really fun. I think you guys will like this clip.
Harstem, do you play against Serral often on ladder?
Yeah.
How many points do you get if you win?
I don't know.
Best answer. Often on ladder?
Yeah.
How many points do you get if you win?
I don't know.
Best answer.
All right. Yeah, the star does add to it. I agree. Good times. Home Story Cup coming up, guys. Next weekend it is Home Story Cup time. A lot of us will be traveling over on Thursday. Seems that I really struggle getting this one going. Let's hope it's a good one and that it's worth the wait. We miss you this morning, Air. Where were you, mate? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. My monitor just went off for a split second there. Has done this, I wouldn't say frequently, but not the second time that this happened in less than a week. It's only for a second, so it's not the biggest of deals. But I don't believe it's supposed to be doing that. No. Ace match is good for onside. It's good for everyone who's on top of the league. It's good for Dragon KZ Gaming. Good for onside. It's even good for Team Liquid, who are still in the mix. 1.3 million versus 91k. Yona always brings out the big badass. Wonder what Harstem's plan is on Equilibrium. Once more, this is obviously the odd map. The first map in competitive history that has a rich Vesperian geyser and gold minerals at the same time. Zerg is often the first who can use it. Well, if Protoss can get their hands on it when it's the 4th base, maybe the 3rd, but it should be really hard as a Protoss to take that as your 3rd base. Technically not possible, I think, unless you do something weird. You hate to play a Zerg as good as Serral on Equilibrium. I'll be honest with you, Bully. I think a lot of people hate playing Serral on any map. I don't think there are many maps that you look at and you're like, yeah, this is where I want to play against Yona. Now I'm really feeling it. I don't think it's too map dependent. Here we go. It is time. Seems like we have the right overlay this time around. Nothing weird. Top right side. Once more. It is the captain of the Shopify Rebellion Harstem. In the top left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who needs to get a 2-0 for us. Otherwise, this clan war is over. Basilisk Serral. Serral probably has the 2nd best record of anyone in the league. Maru is the best performing player this season of WTL Codas. Has won every single series, besides the one against Serral. That one went 1-1. Serral, I think, had 3 or 4 draws so far. Had a draw with Dark, had a draw with Firefly, had a draw with Maru. I feel like there was one more, but I keep on forgetting the last one. Dark, Firefly, and Wayne. Yeah, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne got the best of Yona with the Nidus on Rod who said. That's correct. So Serral, I guess this is played a, what is it, 9, right? 5 wins, 4 draws. Yes, thank you, Wayne, thank you. Sorry, mate. The Nidus on Ratu set. Serral, not too long ago, when this map was just released, said that taking the gold is bait. It's classic bait as a Zerg. You see the gold, you want to take it, and you take the gold into losing. Those were his words, not mine. Well, well, well. 2 months into the future, and what do we got? Serral taking the gold that is natural. Why is Scarlet not playing? You would have to ask one of the Rebellion folks for that. I am obviously not in charge of their lineup. They decided that this is the lineup that needs to get the job done for them. And hey, that Lambert choice worked out well for them. The last time Harstem took a map of Serral was 2017. Took a map on the ladder though, with the double Stargate Phoenix. We have a Stargate as an opener here, but I obviously expect that Stargate to be for Oracles. He's rebelling. I don't think that's the case. Harstem is adept is going to make it to the other side of the map. We'll see where he wants to go with it. Obviously, you want to be very careful with the adepts. The adepts are useful in not just finding damage with drones, but they also kind of help you to go up to 3 bases yourself as a Protoss. If you're going to send out the probe all by itself, it's an easy pickup for someone like Yona as soon as Zergling speed is ready. Harstem will obviously know that every single unit counts. You're gonna see, I don't want to see it, but if Harstem takes a map here, you guys are gonna see an explosion of joy. He's probably gonna jump up and down. The single fist bump of Lambo will be nothing compared to the joy that Harstem will show here. Because this is the one that really matters for them. A single map is all that the Rebellion needs. Serral needs a 2-0. First Oracle is gonna fly on top of the drones. Harstem a little bit shaky with the control. He attacks 3 different drones, but he doesn't get the kill on a single one of them. So that's a perfect start for Serral, and Harstem is gonna be a little bit annoyed by that. Is gonna try to take the mega base very quickly himself. So opens up double Oracle and tries to take the gold with the rich Vesperian guys 4 minutes into the game. Yona going for +1 melee. It's going to make his lings a bit more feisty. Second Oracle flies into the gold, activates Pulsar Beam. Coming in from the high ground, it's kind of hard for the queens to see it. Maybe Serral could put like an Overlord there. Actually, he has one. It's a little bit more towards the north. What are we going to do with that Twilight? It is going to be Blink. Harstem is quite fond of a Blink Stalker all-in that kind of looks for a while like, it's just a standard macro-oriented setup, but it's not. Because he doesn't get a Forge. He doesn't get a Robo. He just goes for it with nothing but Blink Stalkers and tries to get the job done early. I assume that Serral is familiar with this. Serral, in some of the interviews we always do with the players, has mentioned that he will do a bit of research. It doesn't matter who he plays. If he knows who he is playing 1 or 2 days in advance, he'll take a look at a couple of their games. Perhaps that is what also makes him Yona. Never cocky. Will still prepare even when he's the overwhelming favorite. So I'm sure that he's familiar with the build that I think Harstem is going to do here. Because I haven't seen a Robo and I haven't seen a Forge. What would be big for Harstem is if he somehow can get a pylon and a gateway up in the bottom left side of the map. Has done a good job with his oracles. Hasn't killed a lot, but obviously keeping them alive, I would say, is more important. Serral is putting all that money to good use, and he's going to morph 16 Banelings in the bottom side, and Harstem is completely unaware of it. And Harstem is actually going to go from Blink Stalkers immediately into a Fleet Beacon. The thing is just that Lings and Banes will kill probes a whole lot quicker than a bunch of Blink Stalkers do. It's a fun build what Harstem is doing here, but I do not think that he was ever expecting this amount of aggression coming out of Serral. And Serral says, if I got gold minerals, I'm going to make a couple of Banelings early, mate, and I'm not just going to sit here and let you attack me. I'll be the one who's dealing some damage. That is 12 probes. I don't know if we can get more. And imagine a couple of Banelings blowing up to the depth, by the way, and Lings running into the main base or the natural. That'd be big. To make every warp in faster. On the other side of the map, yes. If you have a pylon and a gate, and the left side, I mean, Serral has a lot of creeps, so at this point, I wouldn't even know where you want to do that. But yeah, you can get fast warp-ins at that specific gateway. If it's just a pylon, obviously they would be slow warp-ins. If it's a pylon all by itself. I think whatever Harstem had in mind is now not really working out. He does have a carrier on the way, but I think Serral can obviously always just build a Spire. There is no cannon and a shield battery in the natural. Okay, there is a shield battery now. There wasn't earlier. Harstem being at 53 probes against 50 drones, that part is good, but I think it's inevitable that Serral will find some damage here. The Banelings are still slow, but this many Banelings, Harstem is going to need some very good Stalker positioning and a good battery overcharge, and so far he absolutely has that. He is losing some probes though, I'm not sure where. Maybe they were being transferred. First carrier is out. A single carrier is not that devastating, but if we get a second carrier, we get some air upgrades. That's where it could get scary. Serral in the midst of this Lingbane pressure, where he didn't really commit, cranked out 19 workers and he's making a few more. So we went from 50 to 70 drones real quick. As he now drops a hive. I would kind of like to see a Spire. A single carrier is not that intimidating, but if 3 carriers show up, then a few queens may not be enough. You think it looks good for us? I'm completely fine with Serral's position. I just want to see him get some proper anti-air. It's kind of a cool wall off here at the bottom of this ramp by Harstem. Obviously, the Banelings are going to be a bit harder to deal with at this point because Baneling speed is ready. A sentry gets blown up. Banelings, I think, were trying to come in from the bottom as well, but that won't work because the wall of the shield battery gets protected. Really good blink there by Harstem. There's still a decent amount of Zerk here, but good job. Gotta give kudos to the captain for that one. That was excellent defense. Great defensive blink around the battery, using battery overcharge. Very well done. Keeps the Nexus alive as well. We've got that Spire on the way. I wouldn't hate it if Harstem just sits back here for a little bit, guys. Looking at it from a Basilisk point of view. That was very good defense. Serral got very little done there. But as long as Harstem does not attack, and I don't see him really attacking here because he obviously doesn't know how far along that Spire was. If there's something that can kill his carriers, this game will go on. And the longer it goes on, I think the more I believe that Yona will be fine here. I cannot check anything when it comes to units lost or whatever. I am not in the game, guys. The only thing that I can do is open a stream link that the guys from WTL give me and show that to you guys. That is all I can do here. Lings, Roaches and Banelings looking for an opening in the natural, hoping maybe that Harstem made a mistake and that the Adept isn't there anymore. The Roaches are a little bit late. Getting the Cybercore would be big. Battery Overcharge gets used to save that Cybercore, and he does save it 8 seconds before +1 air weapons, but Serral turns around, grabs a couple of the Stalkers, so that's obviously not too bad. And we've got 11 Corruptors on the way. That base on the right side, I don't think has any cannons or batteries. Nothing. So look at these Lings, guys. These are +2 melee Zerglings, and even without Adrenal Glands, those Lings, they don't give a damn. That is a dead Nexus and 8 tropes going down as well. That's some value, baby. Bang for your buck. We'll take that. Harstem can be happy with that. Obviously because he took the gold rather quickly. And there's also a chance that that gold is going to mine out already in the near future. Serral even bringing a bunch of queens now. Maybe going for a Lingbane Queen Corruptor attack. Not an attack that I am ultra familiar with, but hey. In overwhelming numbers, everything can work. And the upgrades are good. The Lings do have Adrenal Glands now at this point. Overlords are going to try to drop some creeps so the queens can transfuse one another. Storm is available. That's a big storm on the Corruptus. Bit of a weird attack, to be completely honest. I hope that Yona knows what he's doing, but Yona pretty much always knows what he's doing. He's bleeding out a few queens here, though. The Lings may be looking for the cybernetic score. The Lings get the Cybercore. That's big, guys, because now A, these ports have been opened, and B, +2 air weapons got denied. And we all know how powerful carriers can be if they can get a big upgrade lead. Just a couple of Lings and Roaches are making life really hard for Harstem. And the Oracle's having a very hard time. Look at how effective that tiny attack of Serral was in the natural. That did more than the main attack. This stream looks to 480p. I know that the quality is not fantastic, guys, but I can't do anything about it. It's not my fault. I can only work with what they give me. And this is the best that I can show you guys. It is indeed somewhat low quality, but yeah, it's just... You're watching my stream, and I am watching a stream. If I was able to join the games, it would look a lot better, but they do not allow that. You got an HD Roddy and an HD Christmas tree in the fireplace. That should make up for something. Next time around, we'll have some Ultras in the mix as well. Harstem's ground army, I don't think is fantastic against Ultras. And we all know that once kindness plating is done, and the Ultras get a couple of armor upgrades. Carriers, especially if their upgrades are not that intimidating. And because Harstem lost the Cybercore, he obviously has very late +2. The carriers will not do a lot against the Ultras. I think overall, 4 Dropper-Lords, by the way. What are we going to do with these Dropper-Lords? Are we just going to drop 32 Zerglings in the main? Or maybe 16 Lings and 2 Ultras? I'll take it. You can even escort that drop with Corruptus support. Serral's so rich, 4,000 minerals. Doesn't have that much gas in the bank, so he definitely needs to be careful. Cannot do something silly with the Corruptus, but I don't expect him to. Void Ray dies immediately. Void Ray is going to get targeted as well. Here come the Ultras. Carriers are going to try to do their thing against the Ultras, but it takes so long for this Protoss army to kill a couple of Ultras. And that will allow the Corruptus to get in range, gun down a carrier or two. And where is the rest of the army? Lings getting on top of a cannon. A few Zealots are going to have a very hard time. Like, Zealots can be okay against Lings if they have support. Whether it's Archons or batteries, cannons. If it's just Zealots fighting Lings with +3 melee and Adrenal Glands, the Zealots look so useless. Lings just attack so much quicker. Serral loves that Ultralisk model. It's the Boudoir Ultralisk. Don't know if he played that much Boudoir in his life, but I think he did a little. Harstem is putting up a fight, and there were moments in this game where it maybe looked a little bit promising. He handled that first big Ling Bane attack pretty well, because I was like, he's not ready for this. He was out of position. I thought it was going to be a disaster. It wasn't, but I think 15 minutes in, we're actually somewhat close to this game coming to an end. Serral is rich. His army is awesome. He's got all the map vision in the world. We're going to land a few abducts as well on oracles. I just don't really see how Harstem takes a great fight here, and I think he knows it. He's going to try to get some Immortals, more Archons, and a Mothership. +2 air weapons does finish up this time around. Shield Battery Overcharge gets dropped very early to save that Immortal, but Ultras with +3 also pack a punch, and even with Battery Overcharge, you're going to lose your Immortal. This gold is now in trouble. Harstem looking for a feedback on the Vipers, but he can't quite get his High Templars in range. His Rob Lords have not been used. The Nexus goes down. Here come the Corruptors and the Vipers. Another carrier falls. And I feel like we have seen this very often. One unit at a time will get abducted. And obviously if you're a Protoss with 140, 150 supply, and you have 100 minerals in the bank, these abducts hurt. And Serral will always be able to lend them. This could very well be our game-deciding fight, or at least the final fight of the game. A couple of the storms were big. 1 or 2 Ultras went down. Serral just regrouping, looking for another full volley of his Corruptors. Gets another carrier, and all that's left in the skies is a Void Ray, a carrier, and a Mama Ship. The Void Ray and the carrier have gone down. And the rest of this Protoss army doesn't look that great. Maybe Serral needs a few more ground units to clean this up. But once he gets to clean up on his army, he's fine. Maybe that Greatest Fire could have probably been a little bit quicker. Because then we could have just morphed our Corruptors into Broodlords. At this point we can't. What we can use the Corruptors for is obviously land an Abduct on the Mothership and then kill it. We land it with the Viper, we kill it with the Corruptors. This is where Harstem is going to send it. His Hail Mary play of this game. Archons, Immortals, couple Stalkers, couple Storms. Can it be good enough against this many Ultras? The fight on the ground is somewhat close, but Serral should have reinforcements for days. You know, Harstem honestly doing pretty damn good here. Killing all the Queens, killing the Ultras. That is a job well done by the captain. The problem is just that Serral is very rich. So Serral can rebuild. Serral is now going to make some magic happen with his Corruptors as well. The Great Aspire is done, so he can morph Corruptors into a Great Aspire. I think we're going to see the Corruptors use Caustic Spray. Great fight on the ground there by Harstem. He handled that as well as he possibly could have. But he's now going to lose at least 2 bases. The recall is not going to save it. This Nexus should go down. There is no battery to save it. The other Nexus goes down as well. So Harstem is now a 2-base Protoss, which means he basically has no more income. And now the army on the other side of the map is going to get cleaned up by all the reinforcements. GG gets called. Serral gets the job done. Takes the 1-0 lead. The captain played well though. Kudos to Harstem. I just feel that Harstem played a good game there. Made Jonah work for it. But that's where Jonah shines the most. He loves working for it. Ultras so bad. I do nothing that the Ultras are bad, mate. As far as I know, the guy with Ultras won. Wannabe Doe said, I love Harstem. His game knowledge is out of this world, but somehow he doesn't dominate the pro scene. Maybe his hands can keep up with his brain. There's also a chance, mate, that the other pro gamers are also very smart. Harstem is smart, but so are the other guys. And I don't think that Harstem is like 80 IQ above every other pro gamer. Sure, some players are very quick and maybe a bit quicker than Harstem, but Harstem is very smart and has a lot of game knowledge. But I may hope that you don't look at Serral or anyone else and be like, yeah, they're not that smart. They're just very quick. It's like, no, they're pretty smart too, mate. At the highest level, all of these guys are incredibly knowledgeable about the game. Hello, Yoon. Was going carrier the wrong call here? Well, you can also say that the carriers kept him alive, right? For quite some time. I don't know. Harstem had a build in mind. The thing is, we could never truly see what Harstem's... maybe Harstem's perfect plan is like, hey, I'm making it look like I'm going for a Blink Stalker all in. I want you to build nothing but roaches, lynx, ravagers, maybe some banelings, I don't care. And then he would reveal the ace up his, or the trump card, and that is like suddenly carriers. And then maybe the carriers could have shined, or he could have pushed Serral down a lurker path, and then the carriers could have been awesome. But obviously the game played out in a different way than Harstem expected, because Harstem moved out with the Blink Stalkers. And while he was making that move out, Serral was already all over his gold. So at that point, that is not something you're prepared for, because if he was preparing for that, he would have been at home. I don't know. I think I like Harstem's plan. I like Harstem's strategy. It's just that no matter how good the plan may be, you're still going up against Serral. You're playing a PvZ against Serral. And it's very hard to bring it home. Rad Huset is a bad pick. Well, I mean, it's Harstem's pick. Harstem can choose whatever the hell he wants. I don't think that we could ever say that something is a bad choice. Because if he picks it, he must feel really good about on this map. And even if you think another map is better for Protoss, it does not make any sense for Harstem to play on a map that he doesn't feel comfortable at, but other people say is good. You're always going to go with what you feel best at. It doesn't really matter how other people look at it. You go with where you think you can shine. And if Harstem thinks that his best chance is winning on the Ratu set, that is the best choice. We're not really in charge of what other people can feel good at. If Serral wins, we'll get another game. That is correct. The current score is 3-2 in favor of the Rebellion. If Serral wins this game, we're going to an ace match. Ratu set, I think, is by a Swedish creator. It is named after a metro station in Stockholm. I have probably been there, but I forgot. Or at least I must have passed it. Roddy's the ace. I mean, I don't know if Dr. Dario has the confidence to play Roddy in a best of one, but, you know, if TLO wants to settle it with the big man, they will take that, because they know. No. It is too early in the season for that, guys. I know last season we had a bit of fun with Crank versus Roddy in Onsite versus Basilisk, but that is because it did not matter who won that final match. Like, we were always going to be second, and they were always going to be first. Right now, we're not in the middle of the season, but there is still a lot to play for. So obviously, ace matches will be that serious.
Round 2, fight!
Bottom left side of Red, who set a station. We were looking at the main base of the captain for the Shopify Rebellion. It is Harstem. Top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who's forced to play on this map a whole lot, because it seems that almost everyone picks this map against him. Basilisk Serral. Netherlands versus Finland. Roddy undefeated in ace matches. You know it, and we're gonna keep it like that, baby. Harstem picking Ratu set. I feel like something that is somewhat obvious is what I predicted a while ago when Gerald picked this map against Serral. And I was like, I have the feeling he's going to open up with a Stargate. He's going to make it look normal, but then he's going to go double Stargate Phoenix. And Gerald is not even much of a Phoenix guy, but I just kind of felt that that was going to be the game plan. It was, and he made a game out of it, but in the end, Serral won. I think it'd be a little bit obvious if that is what Harstem is going to do here. Serral wasn't born last night. He will know that on this map, builds that are not very good on many of the other maps can work on this one because of the in-base expand that is very well protected. And we're not talking about the natural, but we're talking about the third base, obviously. So, I feel like Harstem needs to bust something else out. What is that going to be? Ich habe wirklich keine Ahnung, as the Germans would say. Is Serral also undefeated in ace matches? Yes, I mean, Serral basically is undefeated in the regular season, period. He's had draws, but Serral has never lost in the regular season. He has only ever lost in the playoffs. 5 Robo Immortal. Whatever it will be, I'm sure it's going to be fun for us. Ja, zeer veel aanhang. But not about this game. not about this specific plan of the captain on this map. I mean, there is also a chance that he's gonna play it out somewhat normal. But it's just like, Reynor might be worried about X, Y, Z, this map being weird, this map being a bit different, and then, as they said a long time ago, whether it was day 9 or Atosis or Chaseless, whatever, whoever said it, probably not Tasteless. The cheesiest thing that a cheesy player can do is play a macro game. Now, obviously, Harstem is not a cheesy player. I'd say he's a macro-oriented player to a fault almost, where sometimes being a bit more dirty wouldn't hurt him. But if you expect him to cheese, then maybe by playing macro-oriented, you can actually throw your opponent a proper curveball. The Goblin build. What is the Goblin build? I still love you. I still love that you are in the SC2 scene. I'm glad about that, mate. Void Ray into Fleet Beacon, guys. Void Ray into Fleet Beacon. Are we gonna get... Is it a Tempest opening, maybe? Is there a world? You said 2 Stargate Phoenix. Well, that's what I was already talking about earlier. I actually think he will open up with 1 Tempest. Like 1 Tempest to harass the natural of Serral. And after that, we might do something weird. I don't know. Let's see. Or it's just the 4 carrier opening, right? That's a possibility as well. Harstem scouting for Overlords. He definitely does not want to reveal this build. He only has 1 Stargate at the moment, yeah. Well, but what could we do then? Like 1 Tempest into a Zealotolid or something? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of as well. Oh my god, Ruffle. Yeah, I mean, I said the Tempest. Making an extra gate. Seems like the YouTube stream is getting worse and worse, so just bear with me, guys. I am counting pixels. I believe we are currently looking at 29 pixels on our screen. Where are we going with this? I mean, it could also just be Tempest to harass and then a bit of a macro game. A Tempest one-shots drones, yes. But obviously, there is a bit of space between the mineral line. So if Serral just moves the Spore Crawler to the edge, puts the Queens right on the edge... Like, it's honestly not that easy to kill a crazy amount of drones with this Tempest. That is probably true, Ian Blue. Like, I don't know if that was sarcastic, but yeah, there is a good chance there are more pixels in this tiny square than in the rest of our picture, but... He is making a second Tempest. We have a Twilight Council, a Forge, and another Gateway going down. Serral already moving the spores forward. Like, Harstem will obviously always get a couple drones here. Oh, Captain! No! Harstem, matey! I don't think he will lose it, but jeez Louise. That was not it. I mean, he doesn't lose it, but... Now, obviously, you need to be a whole lot more cautious with your Tempest from here on out. And it's a lot harder to get those couple drones that I was talking about. Yeah, that was obviously not supposed to happen. Second Tempest is here. He does not have the Tempest upgrade. 2 Tempests, I guess. No, we need to overkill there. You don't want to shoot at the same drone, no? I mean, so far he got a Spore Crawler and 2 drones. That's not fantastic, guys. Spire is done. The Spire is done and Serral is 24 workers ahead. Actually making Muras. Tempest now at 3. I mean, Blink Stalkers against Muras, that can obviously still go somewhere, but economically, this game just looks like a nightmare for Harstem. We do have the Le Explosion, the gate all in. Serral does need something that's going to be a bit good on the ground. Harstem is even going to try to get a Nexus on the other side of the map. The idea here is obviously, guys, maybe down the line you can get battery overcharge, but I think the biggest thing here is a pylon. What Harstem really wants there is just quick warp-ins. And he has no time right now to wait for a robotics facility. He has no time to wait for a gate. And the Nexus doesn't need to be done for you to get quick warp-ins. So it's actually pretty smart. I really like this. What's happening with our stream? Damn it, why now? Muras flying to the other side of the map. I honestly kind of like it. Harstem needs more pylons though. That 1 pylon finished up. But yeah. It's very important to keep in mind. Serral says, I will help you with your supply block, sir. Kills 12 probes real quick. Oh, the captain already didn't have that many probes. These mutas are packing a punch. I mean, Serral did not even have Zergling speed, so Blink Stalkers are definitely scary. These mutas need to buy time, and they are buying time. Oh man, they're not just buying time. They're completely destroying the economy of Harstem. Harstem having a hard time being aggressive with Stalkers on the other side of the map. I know that defense looked clumsy, guys, but in Harstem's defense, he's clearly microing on the other side of the map. But the observer was only looking at the Mutalisk killing everything, and then it looks like Harstem is AFK, but I can promise you that he was not AFK. It's just that Serral got the best of him on his side of the map and on Serral's side of the map. GG got called. Serral gets the 2-0, and we'll send it to an ace match. And this is where I'm going to take another break, guys, because I need to discuss very quickly with my team. Be right back. The captain needs to do captain things.